तो बिफोर वी स्टार्ट राइटिंग द कोड, कोड मतलब होता है आपका प्रोग्राम, प्रोग्राम मतलब सेट ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शंस, set of instructions, set of lines, set of guidelines which we give to the computer. Why do we give instructions to the computer? To get some task done. Now task can be addition of two numbers, multiplication of two numbers. ऐसा काम मुझे करके लेना है कंप्यूटर से, उसके लिए हमें इंस्ट्रक्शंस देना पड़ेगा। तो इंस्ट्रक्शन जिस लैंग्वेज में देंगे उसे हम क्या बोलते हैं, प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज। इंस्ट्रक्शंस कोई लैंग्वेज में लिखेंगे, राइट, सो दैट लैंग्वेज इज नथिंग बट प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज। तो हम कौन सा प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज पढ़ने वाले हैं, जावा। जावा पढ़ने वाले मतलब जावा का यूज करके आप इंस्ट्रक्शंस लिखोगे, यू विल राइट इंस्ट्रक्शंस विद हेल्प ऑफ जावा, ठीक है। अभी जो इंस्ट्रक्शंस लिखोगे आप कहीं पर तो लिखोगे, दैट यू विल राइट इनसाइड द नोटपैड और आईडी। देन वंस यू राइट इंस्ट्रक्शंस, व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट लॉजिकल स्टेप, वी चेक is there any error in this particular or is there any syntax error with the help of some software called as compiler. Now Java use one compiler. What is the name of that compiler? Java compiler. So what are the instructions we are going to write? We will write inside the notepad. Now we will give this instruction to the compiler. Happen in just a second. Okay, so first of all we will write the code in a notepad. Now that notepad will be installed on a machine, that can be installed on a machine also, right. Now this notepad we will write the instructions, code कुछ लिखेंगे हम, code to get some task done. Now what are the instructions you have written, whether it is correct or not, how do we check that? We give these instructions to the Java compiler. What is the job of this compiler? Check is there any error or syntax. If there are no error, then it will generate intermediate code. Now that is called as byte code or a intermediate code. Byte code or intermediate code, right. अभी इस कोड को आप सेव करते, एक फाइल, अभी जो आपने कोड लिखा इस फाइल को आप सेव करते हो app.java, मतलब कोई भी नाम दे सकते हो, लेकिन आपका एक्सटेंशन क्या होना चाहिए, .java। जो फाइल आउटपुट जनरेट होगा जब कंपाइल होगा सक्सेसफुली, उस फाइल का नाम हम रखेंगे .class फाइल। क्या लिखेंगे, .class फाइल, app.class, right, this is the output. Now let me tell you, this file does not contain zeros and ones. This is not a binary file. This is not a binary file. Now this file is given to whom? This file is given to whom? A software again. That software is called as JRE. Now what is the job of this software? Who developed this software? This software is also provided by Java. ये software किसने दिया है? Java. Now what is the job of this software? It will read the bytecode and it will generate the binary which is understood by the machine. Now let's say this is a Linux machine, it will generate. Now this software will be installed on this particular machine. It is installed on this Linux machine. Now if you want to, now this same code, bytecode, you can give it to another machine. Let's say this is a Windows machine. There also you will have JRE installed. Now this JRE will generate the zeros and ones which are understood only by this particular Windows machine, right. So this is how we see that Java is a platform independent programming language. Java is a platform independent programming language. ठीक है. Now we know there are three steps: write code, compile and execute. So we write code with the help of notepad. We compile code with the help of compiler, Java compiler. We execute the code with the help of JRE. So to write code we can use any notepad. To compile the code we use Java compiler, and to execute this output file we use JRE. So JRE is also software. JRE is also software. What is the job of this JRE? Whatever the content Java compiler generate, it will generate the bytecode. This bytecode will be input to the JRE. So this notepad, whatever the file we have, this file is, let's say, app.java file. So this file is input to compiler. Compiler will generate app.class file. So this is input to JRE. Now this JRE will generate what? Zeros and ones. Now this is input to your machine. Right? This is how it program works. ठीक है. प्रोग्राम लिखते हैं मतलब आपको समझ में आ रहा है what is program, what is programmer, what is programming language, writing some set of instructions so that you get some work done. Now work can be very simple or it can be very complex also. Work can be addition of two numbers also. Now that I want to get it done from the computer. So for that purpose I want to write a code. ठीक. Now you tell me, when you write the program, you write some set of instructions. Now when you combine multiple programs together, we get a software. Software is nothing but a bunch of multiple programs. Now if I write multiple programs, now each program you can think of, now when you combine these multiple programs together, we get a meaningful software. Now each program you can think of as a task. Each file, now usually it is good practice. Now let's say you have a notepad, and this is visible, this is a visible screen, right? Now each file should have exactly one task. This is a good practice. So each file, whatever the instruction you are going to write, we should have a one task, but ideally you can write any number of tasks in a given file. Now your application means software, minimum how many tasks it will have? Why do we write softwares? To get some tasks done. So minimum at least one task will be there. Minimum there will be one task. If you are not achieving at least one task, then there is no need of creating the software. Technically you are not doing anything. You have just created software. How can I say you are created software? No. This is an empty software which does not have anything. Right? So minimum how many tasks we will have? At least one. You can have any number of tasks, right? So in your application there will be minimum one task. Now task we represent. Now for the task we have given some separate name also. So task we call it as also as method. Now task you can also call it as function also. Now task can be also called as procedure. Task is also called as procedure. Task is also called as routine. Task is also called as implementation. So there are multiple names, you don't have to worry about. That's why I'm writing all the names possible for that. So task can be a method. Task is also called as function. Task is also called as procedure. It is also called as routine also. Implementation also. And you will see this word also, behavior also. One and the same thing. You don't have to get panic looking at the different naming. All things are related to task. So task you can now going forward, instead of using task word, I will use method. So what do you mean by method? Method is nothing but a task, right? Okay. Now every task you think of, every task will have a name. To perform. Now this task, if you want to perform, sometime we need to accept input also. Let's say you have a task of addition of two numbers. So we have to accept two numbers also. So you have to accept input also. Now after completing the task, you might generate output also. Let's say 10 plus 20, 30. So this is the output. So sometime it will generate output also. Right? Now is it compulsory that every time you will need input? No. Some tasks will be there which you will not need input. They will directly generate the output. Let's say they want to have a random number. So you want to have a random number generated. Now you are not providing any input, but we are expecting output also. Right? So we may get output also as a random number. So we have different types of tasks based on the input and output. So we have 4 types of tasks based on the input and output. So what are the different types of tasks we have? Very simple. Now sometime what will happen? some task will need input as well as, and they will produce output also. Sometime what will happen, you will not accept any input, you will not provide any output also. You will just do intermediate calculations. You will not accept any input, you will not provide any output also, right? So these are the basic categories. And third, sometime you will accept the input, but you will not generate output. Sometime you will not accept the input, but you will generate output. Example I will write random number. I want a random number. So to generate a random number, I don't need any input. I can just, without accepting an input also, I can get the output. Now this one, addition of two numbers. So this task you think of, you will get input, you will also provide output also, right? Now there are some things where you will not actually accept the input and will not provide the output also. So you will just print something on the screen, printing on the screen something, or doing some log. You are not returning value back, anything. So such example you can think of, no input, no output. Sometime you will not provide any output, but we will accept the value. So what accept? You will accept the someone's name and you will just print on the screen. You are not returning any value back. You are just printing on the screen. So such, we have different types of tasks. What are these different types of tasks? Right? So we have different types of tasks. Able to understand everyone? Right? Lalit, Rahul, समझ में आ रहा है सबको क्या चल रहा है? Very basic stuff I am telling you. I am not getting into too much technical things. I am just talking about. So we are going to learn these technical things one by one. So task, you have different names. Task, you have different names. What are the different names? Method, function, then what else? Procedure, routine, implementation, behavior, right? So going forward in Java, you will come across all these words. Frequently you will word this method, function, or implementation, behavior, or sometime you will call procedure also. So there are multiple names, they will be used in different topics, so you don't have to worry about that. So they are talking about only task. So we have different types of tasks. Some tasks will accept input, will not provide output, will accept input, also provide output, which will not accept any input, no output. So we have different types of tasks. Now I was talking about program. What is program? Set of instructions to complete a task, right? Now in a given program, we can write multiple tasks also. I have a program that can do multiple tasks also, yes, right? Now my application minimum will have at least one task. I will have at least one task. Now see this particular, now it is good practice that whatever the notepad you see, the length of the file should be that much only. Length of the task, what I am saying, task. Now task should be so small so that it should fit into your screen. The number of instructions that you are going to write should fit into your screen. Example, now what is the screen you see this should fit only. The task length, it is a good practice. What should be the length of method? What is a good measure? In a one glance, if you are able to see all the instructions for a task, that is a good practice. What is a good practice? For writing good methods, you do not know what is method. Set of instructions should not cross this page. In a one glance, if you are able to see that, that is a good practice. How many lines of task you should have? Now, if you have a very big task, then divide that into multiple small tasks instead of writing a very big task. So what is the problem with big tasks? They are lengthy, they are not able to maintain that, and you will not understand what is the error. You will understand, but it will take a lot of time to debug also. So it is a good practice that your methods or tasks should be small. If it is very big task, what you do? You break down that task into different small tasks, right? So your application will have minimum of one task, and task length, number of instructions should be visible in one glance. That is a good practice. Now, if the task is very big, what you do? You break down that task into small tasks, right? So it is a good practice that you write small tasks. Okay. Now where you are going to write this task? there should be some task also, right? So how do you write task? Usually you will write the name of task. You will have a name of task. This is the name, right? Then to accept the input, we will write some brackets. So this will write input also. We will write input. Now after performing some operations, now this is the input, bracket close, means this denotes that to perform this task, this is the input. Now you will write set of instructions for that particular task. So you write that instructions inside the curly braces. So what this curly braces stands for? This is the boundary of your instructions for this particular task. So you write code inside this instruction, inside this particular curly braces. Now after performing all the instructions and you are expected to get some value also, so we write some output also here. So we say output. So this is a simple thing we have. Name of the task. To perform this task, you might accept some input also, and after performing all the instructions, you might generate some output also. So you write output type also here. And what is this instructions? You write instructions inside this set of instructions, line 1, now 2, 3, 4, like this. How many lines of code we should write in a perform to particular tasks which are visible? That is the ideal length, right? So you tell me your application will have minimum one task. Now that minimum task, now every task will have a name. Every task will have a name. So that minimum task is already created for you. So task structure is already created. You have to directly write the instructions. So if you want to write a small task, that is also fine. If you write bigger tasks also, that also you can write. But this one task is already created for you. What is the one task? So that task is already created for you. Every Java application. So we have to write that. Already created means that is the one task every application should have. Every Java application should have this task. Every Java application will have one task. What is that task name? So this is something we have to write. This is compulsory. Every Java application, at least one. At least one. So the task name we are going to write is main. What is main? Main is a task that every Java application should have. Minimum how many? One. You can write multiple, but it is at least you need one. Able to understand what is main? Main is a minimum task that we need. Inside that we will write the code. We cannot write the code outside of anywhere. We have to write the code inside this at least task. Able to understand what is main? Main is a method. And what is the job of this task? What does we write inside this? So this now you will have 1,000 tasks or hundreds of tasks. You will write your own task. So which task should be executed first? Yes. So this is the start point for your application. So main task will executed first. Main task will be executed. Main task will be executed first. So we can also say this is the entry point for your Java application execution. Entry point for Java application execution. From this, all the Java, this is the entry point. This is the first task that will be executed, right? Now, why this task is called as main? Is there any logical understanding of this, or it is just only given name, main? So this is called as main. Main means its responsibility of this task is to execute other tasks. So we will have this one task and you will have some other tasks also. So the job of this task or job of this method is to execute other tasks. So we will write multiple tasks. Now which task should be executed first, that we will write. Now obviously which is the first task will be executed? Main. Control will come to main, then he will decide which is the task which has to executed first, second, third, fourth. Okay. Now let's say. Now who will execute this? Who is the job? Who is the guy who is executing your Java application? JRE. So there is a guy called as Jerry. What is that guy? Jerry. Jerry ne hum JRE hai, but we will call it as Jerry. So Jerry is the guy who is responsible to execute the application. Now let's say we have a bigger chunk of tasks. So we have these 4 tasks. Now there is, out of these, there is one task that is called as main. Now you have created other task also. Let's say add, subtract, multiply. Okay. Now out of these 4 tasks, which task will be executed first? Main, right? So Jerry will execute, will give control to the main. Then main will be executed. There will be lines will be written inside this like this, right? Here also you will have lines. Here also you will have lines. Here also you will have lines. Now main will be executed. Whether other task will be executed? Now you have written some code inside the main. Now main will be executed. What about these other tasks? No, Jerry will decide only one task. He will come to main. Then inside the main we have to write code that will decide which will execute first, which will execute next. So we are the developer who will decide. Why? How come Java will understand which task we have to execute first? उसको सपना आया था क्या? कैसे उसको समझेगा? हम उसको बताएंगे ना, इंस्ट्रक्शन हम लोग बोल रहे हैं कि ये टास्क पहले करो, ये दूसरा करो, राइट? ऐसे होता है कभी पहले आप मतलब हम उसको कैसे पता चलेगा? Jerry will not understand which task has to be completed first. We are the developer. Our job is to tell, do this job first, this one second, this one third. Let's say you do not have data in the database and you are trying to delete. So first we have to add data, then only you can update. So we have to decide the order in which your code will be executed. Okay, now Jerry will call first task. What is that? Main. And main is called as main because its job is to execute other tasks. So inside this we will write execute first add, then execute subtraction, then execute multiply. Right? So we can decide the order. Then control will come to this one, add. Once add is complete, then he will call subtract. Then that is complete, then we will say complete this. So this is how we do this. Now what is main? Main is the task or a method. What is the job of main method? Execute all the other tasks. Now main method or main task will be executed automatically. Yes, this will be called automatically or it will be executed automatically by Jerry. Who calls your main method? Jerry. Jerry will call the main method. When this will be called? When the execution will start. So when execution will start, you run a command. What is that command? Java and the class name. So what is that class name actually? So what you have, this is a kind of a container. This is a kind of container. So this container we write. How? We write curly braces also after this. We write the. Now all these tasks, now it is a good practice that you logically group the task. You will not randomly put any other task in any other container. So we will write logical containers which are related to the related task. Now let's say example, you are creating one application, income or expense manager, income and expense manager. So what you will do? You will write a container, there you will write task, let's say add expense, update expense, delete expense. So these tasks are related, yes or no? So these tasks are related to each other, yes. Now these tasks are related to what? Expense. So can I give name as this package as expense? Yes. So I give a name as expense. Now what is this? This is the category of tasks. This is the category of tasks which are related to expense. So we have to write this keyword also called as class. Class means it is a category of related task. It is a category of related tasks. I have just given a name to this group of tasks. This is one category. This is one category which are related to this particular task. Then I can have another category. I will have another category. Let's say add income. then I will have update income, right? Then delete income, गलती से कुछ ऐड कर दिया होगा, you do not need that. So what are these tasks are related to income? So to say that, what is this income? What is this income? What is this income? What is this income? This is kind of a container, name given to a container. Name given to a container. What is this? This is something. Now, what we have written inside this curly braces? Multiple tasks. Now, all these tasks are related to some similar category. What is the category? Income related. So, you have logically grouped the tasks and you have just given a name to that particular task. Group that, right? So, you logically group the tasks under a name. So, that name is nothing but a class name. So, what is class? So, class is just a classification you have done. What classification you have done? Classification of task. So, you have related tasks you have grouped under this one category. So, classification, class word came from the word classification, categorization, groupism. So, you are grouping the related tasks together. Just a second, I am just getting important call. Hello. Okay, now if you see here, what we did just now, this thing, what is this? Yes, can you tell me what we have done this one? We have done a classification. What we have done? We have done a classification. We have done a classification. So what classification we have done? The task classification of related task. Now let's say I am developing an application, let's say e-commerce application. So what are the possible tasks we have? So as a customer, what all things you will perform? You will register, you will change your name, or you will change your email, change your address, you will add address, you will delete address, right? So all these tasks you will, sorry guys, hello, हाँ बोलो जल्दी बोल, कॉल में हो गए. हाँ यस. मैं आपको 12:30 1:30 कॉल करोगे आप मुझे? ठीक है. ओके, सॉरी गाइस. अभी देखो कोई ई कॉमर्स एप्लीकेशन यू आर ट्राइंग टू डेवलप एज अ, नाउ देर इज अ वन एंटिटी और अ कैरेक्टर कस्टमर. So customer, what all operation he can perform? You can add new customer details, you can update the name, update the email, update the name, address, you can delete the address, you can add multiple addresses. These are all tasks we have. So what I will do, I will group all the related tasks which are related to customer. So can I call this as a class? Yes. So class is nothing but classification, category, or a group, right? So I logically group all the tasks which are related to this customer. Now what is the next entity we have? Let's talk about another entity, product. We have product also. So we'll have multiple products. So what we have for a product? So we have a product category or a product classification. So what all things we can do? We can add a new product. We can edit the product details, or we can edit the product price, or we can edit the product manufacturing details, or we can delete the product, or we can get list of products, we can send list of products, I can send product details to the customer, so all these tasks I am grouping under one category. So what is the category name? Product. What is a class? Product. So what is class? Class is nothing but a classification, categorization, or a grouping. So what is grouping? We are grouping related tasks. Now similarly there might be some data also. These are the tasks, right? Now to perform some addition or something, we need some data. So there might be some logically related data also will be there. So this data also we can write above that. So that is also grouping of data and methods together. So that is nothing but your class. So you just learn class concept. So we'll have a separate session on class and object, but you are able to understand. We started with task. So where do we write task? Let's come back. Okay. So we started that. What is a task? So every task, what is a program? We just come back again. We'll just try to understand that. So program is nothing but a group of statements, group of instructions that we write. Now the program we write is for a task, or it can be for multiple tasks also. Now when you combine multiple programs together, we get a meaningful software, right? And one task, the task can be minimum number of tasks in your application will be one. So the task we also call it as method, function, procedure, routine, behavior, implementation also. These are different names. Then we have seen each task will have a name. It will also accept input, which will also provide output also. Now based on that input and output, we have different 4 types of tasks. The task which will accept input and also provide output. Task will not accept any input, will not provide any output also. Sometimes you will not accept the input, but you will provide the output, such as random number. Sometimes you will accept the input, will not provide the output. You will just print the number and that's it. So these are different types of tasks we have. Now how do we write the task in the program, or how do we write the task in programming? So every task will have a name, and that task will have an optional input also. Here you can write input, or if you do not want to write, you will not write, that is perfectly fine. Then instructions, whatever the instructions you are going to write, that will be inside this curly braces. This is the beginning and end, this is the boundary you are setting for the task instructions. Then after completing the instructions, you might generate some output also. So this is something we represent a task, right? Now I was talking about Java application. So Java application, minimum number of tasks we have to have, and one minimum number of tasks that we need to have, it is called as main. What is the name of the task? Main. So this is the first task will be executed by JRE. So when JRE will start application execution, what is the first task that will be executed? Main, right? And we can also call it as entry point for your Java application. Okay, perfect. Then we have a JRE or a JRE who is the executor of the instruction. So he will execute the instructions. So we'll have multiple tasks. Now let's say we have multiple tasks: main, add, subtraction, or multiply. Now what is the first task that will be executed by JRE? Main. Control will come to main. Then the task is called as main because, why this is called as main? Yes, why this is called as main? What is the job of this main method or main task? Correct, you are correct. To execute other tasks or instructions. So we as a developer, we have to write, complete this task first, second task, or third task. Now sometimes it also may happen that instead of writing separate tasks, you will write the instruction here itself. You can write instructions also inside the main method also, right? That is also possible. Yes. Okay. Okay. Then I told you that I can write multiple tasks in the given program. Now in a file, what is the ideal length for a task that is visible in one glance? That is nothing but ideal length of your task. Now if a task is very big, what you do, you break down that task into different subtasks, right? Now in a particular file, you will write multiple tasks. So that task should be also written in one boundary also. So what you do, usually we write everything in Java inside the class. That is kind of a boundary. We cannot write outside of the class, means outside of this curly braces we cannot write. So task should be inside this only. So that is a rule we have to follow. That is defined by whom? Java. So Java says whatever the task you are writing, they has to be written inside this only. We cannot write the instructions outside of the class. Why? Because they have set the rule like that. Every task will have a start and end. We will have curly braces. Inside that only we have to write. Now we will have multiple tasks also. Now it is not necessary that the task will be of same category or different category, but usually what we do, we group related or logically related tasks together. Why do we do that? It will be easy to maintain, easy to debug the application or scale the application. That is the reason we group logically related tasks together. Make sense on this? Why we have multiple tasks? Can we write multiple tasks? Yes. So it is a good practice that what is the number of tasks you are writing, group them under one category. So what is a class? What is a class? Class word came from the word. What is the class word coming from? Classification. Classification. Classification means categorization. It is also called as categorization. It is also called as categorization. It is also called as grouping also. Right? So this way we actually group related tasks together. Now there might be data also will be there, related data also. So that also we can write as part of class, related data also. So we are going to write that later on, but data will be also part of that. So data to perform these tasks. So that will be also related data we can write inside the class. ठीक है? Okay, let's try to understand the first Hello World program. We have seen the basics little bit. So let's try to understand the basic Hello World program that we have written. Okay, now you guys tell me what I have written so far. I will write a code. Now what do you mean by public? But after public, what I am going to write? See here, after the public, I am writing class. What I mean is, the whatever the public followed is going to be public. So what is going to be followed after public? A group of category or a class or a categorization, the related tasks. So let's say I give a name, class hello world. This is just a name. So hello world related tasks. So this is the boundary. So this is the boundary. So what I am saying is public means this is the access specifier. It is also called as keyword. This is also called as keyword or a access specifier. What do you mean by this public? Public means, now technically it is access specifier, it is a keyword. Keyword means it has a predefined meaning. Predefined meaning means, let's say plus. What is the meaning of plus? Addition, right? So it has a meaning doing the addition. Similarly, public also has a predefined meaning which was set by the Java. Plus का मतलब किसने set किया होगा? There might be someone who has set the meaning. So similarly for the public, in programming language, Java said that public means this is a reserved word. It has a meaning associated with. What is the meaning associated with that? It means that public means whatever followed, it is going to be public means it will be accessible. Public to means whether entire world? No. Public to your application. Public to your applications. It is not public to entire world. It is public to your only application. Public means we'll have multiple groups, we'll have multiple containers, we'll have multiple groups of related tasks also. So public means this particular class or a group of related data and methods will be accessible to other parts of the application. So public, it is a access specifier. Technically it is a keyword also. Keyword means it has a predefined meaning associated with. Meaning, what is the meaning? Public means this particular component or a class is accessible throughout your application. Don't worry, I am going to give the notes also, don't worry on that. Right? Now, what do you mean by this public? Public is a keyword. Similarly, class is also keyword or a reserved word also we call it as. It has a meaning associated with that. So what is the meaning associated with that? Class means whatever followed, it is going to be a category or a group or a classification, right? So class is also a keyword, which is, what is the use of this class? So first of all, try to understand what is public. It is a keyword, it is access specifier. And why do we use public? We use this public means to denote that the class or whatever followed, it is going to be public, means will be accessible throughout the application. What and why? Very clear. How to, this is the how, this is how we use it. Followed by class. What is class? It is a keyword or a reserved word. And what is the use of this class? To create a classification, to create a category, or to create a group of related, logically related data and methods or tasks. What is class? So we have deeper definitions of class. We will not go into that, but our initial level of understanding we are trying to understand is what is class. So class is a keyword which is used to create a category or a classification or to create a group of what? Logically related methods or tasks. Okay. Now what is this hello world? Name of whom name? Class name. What do you mean by class name? A category name or a classification name or a group name, right? This is a group name which will have related set of classes, related set of methods and some data maybe, right? Now what we are going to write, whatever the code we are going to write, whatever the instructions we are going to write, that will be inside this particular class, right? Okay. Now again inside this class I write public. Again public means it is access specifier or a keyword which has a meaning. Public means whatever followed, it is going to be publicly accessible throughout the application. Okay. Public. Then we have another word, static. What is static? Just like public and class, static is also access specifier or a keyword. It also has a meaning associated with, just like plus means addition, minus means subtraction. Similarly, static means also has some meaning. What is the meaning of plus? Plus means do addition. Public means accessible throughout the application. Static means, static का मतलब क्या होता है? Change नहीं होना. Dynamic means it will change. Static means it is not going to change. So what it is not going to change? What is the component you are going to change? Whatever the component it is going to write, this will be common. This will be common for some set of people or some set of objects. So we don't know the concept of object, but static means this is something common. Static means common. This will not change for. Now let's say this whiteboard. It is common for all of you. This classroom is common for all of you. Or whether do we have each student sitting in one classroom? No. Right? Now the speaker I'm going to be common for all of you. Right? So this is something static. Static means this particular method will be common for some group of people. We call it as objects. So you guys are also called as object. आप कौन हो? Objects. Which category objects you are? Human category. मतलब आप human category के objects. So we'll learn objects in detail. But public static means this particular method. So you tell me what is the use of main method? What is the main task? To execute other programs. So this is going to be common. This is going to be common for all of the other tasks. You can think of that way. So this is going to be common for other objects. This is going to be common for static means it is not going to change. It is going to be common. It is going to be common. So this will be shared across other objects also. Public, static, and then comes void. So void is also keyword or a reserved word which has again a meaning associated, and also void shows it is a return type. It is a return type. Return type means after completing the task, what data you are going to return, that is specified with the help of void. That is specified with the help of void. Then after void, what do we have? Main. What is main? Main is the name of the method or a name of the task, and before main we have used lot of things. Lot of things we have written, right? डॉक्टर इंजीनियर लिखते हैं ना लोग, वैसे मेन के पीछे ये सब कुछ लिख दिया. पब्लिक, स्टैटिक, वॉइड. कोई लोग थे डॉक्टर, पीएचडी, बीएचडी कुछ लिखते, बीए पहले लिखते ना, बीए, एमए, एमफिल, पीएचडी, बीएचडी सब लिखते थे, उसके पहले ऐसे हमने लिख दिया. सो मेन is public. So let's try to understand in terms of main. So main is the name of the task, and it is public. It is public means it is accessible by throughout your application. Static means this is common for rest of the application. Void means main method does not return anything. Void means nothing. Main method does not return anything. Main returns nothing means nothing. So main method will not return anything. So that is the meaning of void. Main is the name of your method or a task, and to perform this task we might accept some input also. So we write the input inside this. So what input main method accepts? So what is the input we have to give to the main method? Yes, string args. What is that string args? So why only string args? Arg stands for arguments or input. Argument stands for input. Now what usually string means, it can be character, it can be number, or it can be double quotes or special symbols or any other language. So it can have multiple types of data as an input. So to accommodate at all of that, we say accept the string type data. Now are you going to stop with one string? We can give a multiple strings also. Now let's say I want to accept your name as an input. It will have multiple strings also, first name, middle name, last name. So to accept that, we need multiple strings. So to store multiple strings, we need to have a container also which will store multiple values. So array, you can think of, what is array? Array, you can think of a container which can store multiple values. So this classroom is also container which can store multiple students. So array in layman term, you can think of a container which can store multiple values. Now what type of values it is going to store? String type, right? So what is the input your main method is going to have? A container which will have multiple string values. So that is called as array of string. Basket of, we call it as something, right? कोई basket होता है, उसके अंदर कोई multiple सामान होता है. एक basket we call it as fruit basket. So similarly, this is a array basket which contains colorful strings, right? So we'll have a array which is going to be input to your main method. So what is that? String, and this is what string? This is going to be array string, a basket of strings or array of strings. So that basket will have a name, that array will also have, container will have a name. So this args is nothing but a array name or a container name. So args, you can write complete word also, arguments also, or you can say input also. You can give any name, input, or you can say basket of strings. This also you can say. What this square bracket denotes? This denotes it is a container. This denotes this is an array type. Tick. Now after that, we have provided the name, we have provided the input, we said this is open for all, it is accessible throughout the application, this method does not return anything, and this is common for all. Okay, but what is common? What is open for all? Right? What is the instruction that you are going to provide? So what this curly braces denotes? Inside this we write the instructions. We write inside this instructions. What instructions we can write? Now we can write any number of instructions. Now I will write one simple line of code. What instruction? I got instructions, but I got the input also, but I will not use this input. If you want, you can use this input also. But runtime, if someone provides some input, we can use that also. We can accept that and we can use this inside the method also. So I am writing one simple line of code here, system dot out dot okay. Before I go there, system, what is system? Yes, you are correct. System is a machine. This is a machine. Now with this machine, what all things we can do? We can accept the input with the help of keyboards. We can accept the input with the help of mouse also. We can give output on the screen also. So system related input and output related tasks. Now there might be some tasks, accepting the value from the user with the help of keyboard, or accepting the input from the mouse, or from giving the output to the printer, or with the help of scanner. Now all these operations, all these tasks are written somewhere. These tasks will be written somewhere. Now where they are written? Inside the system. Now what is system then? You tell me. What we created? Income, expense, what are these? Class. So what is system then? Class. So where is this class? This class is already written by Java, which contains a related tasks to the system input and output. So what we are going to try now? We are going to output something on the screen. We are going to write something on the screen. So we need to output something on the screen. So where is that task present? Inside the system class. So what is system? System is a predefined class. Predefined means which is already written. Which is already written. Now it is already written, we have to just use that. So there is a task which already there. We just give input to that task was there is a string print hello on the screen. Right? So system is a class, and there is one more thing. What is that? Dot. Dot means we have to access that task also, right? Now that task we say dot out. What is this out? It is a variable, it is a reference variable which is of type print stream class. Once again, I will tell you what is that. Now, inside the system class there is a variable called as out. So just like any class will have set of methods also and set of variables also, set of data and task will be also. So you need some data to perform some task. So out, what is out? Out is a data or a variable or a reference variable which is present inside the system class. So what is system? System is a predefined class. Inside that we have out. What is out? Out is a variable or a data which is present inside the system. अभी data कोई भी type का तो होगा, integer होगा, number होगा, string होगा, character होगा, कोई तो type का होगा. तो ये out है, इसका type कुछ अलग ही define किया है. क्या type है इसका? Print string. Print string. What is the type of this out? I will write everything, don't worry. Out is a variable. What type of variable? A reference variable. And what do you mean by variable? Kind of a data which is present inside the system class. So what type of data it is? The data is of some weird kind of type. What is that? Print stream type. What is print stream? So print stream is also a class. What is that? Print stream is also a class. Just like system class, just like hello world class, print stream is also a class. And inside that, what we have, we expect some data and methods. So inside that class, there is one method called as println or print. Print line, println stands for print line or print. So print method is there. Where is that print method present? Println. Println stands for print line. And this method is present inside where? Print stream class. Println method is present inside print stream class. Now that method accepts the input. What input? We can provide the input. What is the input? We can provide string or number. What is the input? What is the input you provide? What happens to that data? What happens to that input? That particular input is just printed on the screen. So I will just write print this text input on the screen. Okay. Now I say this is end of your instruction. Let's save this file. I will write this all these stuffs whatever I said. I save this file. Now the file usually you should save. Usually you should save this file. I already have some files. I will just delete this. Okay. Now what I will do, I will save this file. Now what this file contains? This contains a class. This contains a class. Inside the class we have task. So what type of task it contains? Hello world type of classes, hello world type of task. So the name of the file should be reflecting what it contains. So usually it is a good practice that your file name and the class name should be same. It can be different, but why to create confusion? Why to create confusion? So it is a good practice that your file name and the Java class name should be same. Dot Java. So what we did, with the help of this file, we understand in this file we have a class or a category or a group, related task, related data, we have a multiple tasks. Now let's say hello world.java. Save this file. Now we have saved the file. Now what do we do with this? This is just a text we have written. We have just written the text. So this file has to be given to the compiler. Now how do I use compiler to compile this file? Yes, so we have seen yesterday. So we use CMD. So what is CMD? CMD stands for command prompt. Command prompt. What is the job of command prompt? Execute commands. Now if I say start notepad, so what it will do? It will open the notepad application. This is how it opens. So with the help of this command prompt, what you do? We give command to the, once again we have seen yesterday this also. So we have a command prompt. So what is the use of this command prompt? Yes, perfect. So CMD is a software. CMD is a software. So there we write the command. Now this command is given to whom? Operating system. Now this operating system should know the meaning of this command. Now where does your operating system finds the meaning of this command? What is that place? ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम को पता होना चाहिए ना इस कमांड का मतलब क्या है. स्टार्ट नोटपैड, ये तो इंटरनल कमांड हो गया, प्री डिफाइंड कमांड हो गया. वेयर डू यू फाइंड दैट कमांड मीनिंग? Perfect. This is found inside environment variables. So this is present inside the environment variable. So whether actual command definition or command meaning is present here? Whether actual command definition or meaning is present here? No. It is just a location of the actual command. Now it will have just a location of the command. So command definition will be somewhere else. There might be some path. There might be some path or folder. So actually command definition will be inside this particular folder. Now that folder path is just mentioned inside this environment variables. Okay. Now what command I want to give? Once again come back. Now I am going to use command. What is that? Java C. Java C stands for Java compiler. Now I am going to give a command. Use Java compiler to compile which file? Whatever the file we have created. So I write Java C and I say hello world dot Java. Now this is the command I have. Now this command is given to OS. OS will check where is this command definition, then they will go to a path. Now where is that path actually for Java? So inside C colon we have program files. Inside program files we have Java folder. Inside Java we have JDK folder. And inside JDK we have Win folder. So there you will find the definition of this command and that will be executed. Right? Now Java C and the file name. So after this what will happen? Is there any error or not? If there is no error, what will happen after this? So this will generate a dot class file. It will generate class name, class file we called as, right? Hello world dot class. So file name will be exactly equal to your class name. Then hello world class, what you do with this file? Then again you give this command to execute. Now this is the output we have to execute. To execute this, what we use? We use a command called as Java space and the class name. That is hello world. Perfect. Now let's run this first command Java C. I have opened the. Now where is your file? There might be some inside the folder. So first of all we have to go to that particular folder. How do I go? So if you see currently I am inside this folder C colon users, this one. Now I have to go to which folder? Under there is OneDrive folder. Inside that I have desktop folder. Inside desktop I have IH02 folder. Inside that I will come to this folder. CD stands for change directory. I am moving from this current directory to this one. Now what this directory has? This directory has multiple files. It contains two files, one MP4 file and one hello world.java. So I will use CLS stands for clear screen. So I will say Java C. I am inviting Java compiler to compile which file? Hello.java. Now let's go to that particular folder. You will find that the file is created. Now after compilation, the file is successfully compiled, and as an output it will generate a .class file, hello world.class. Now what happens next? We have to run this particular file or class Java, and I say hello world. That's it. Don't need to write .class. It will automatically pick up that file, and inside that it will run the particular class. This Java hello world. Now this command, what is this command all about? Which software we are inviting now? JRE. Now this line is an invitation to JRE to execute this class. Execute this class means inside this class we will have multiple tasks. Now inside this class, which task will be executed first? Main. So this line is an invitation to the JRE that inside this class there will be a main method that will be executed, and if there is any code inside the main method to call other method, that will be executed. So in short, this method will call the method which is present. Which method will be present inside this hello world class? Main. Now if main method is not there, what will happen? Yes, absolutely, there will be a error. If main method is not present, it will say main method not found. So we will try that. Now if you see main method was present, that's the reason we have got the output as print this text on the input, print this text input on the screen. So that is what we have done. So we are able to do our first task, printing hello world on the screen. Now let's try to do one thing. I will remove this main method. I have this empty class. Save this file, and I will compile this file one more time. So what will happen? Your new .class will be generated. Already file will be replaced. Java C. Okay. Now what I will do? I will just run this. So is there anything to run inside this class? There might be some other methods, but there is one method missing. What is that? What it is saying? Main method not found in class hello world. Please define the main method as. So it is saying you have to define this method, then only I can start the execution of the application. Okay. Now let's try to understand, we will write this once again in the note format so that you remember. So what we learned just now? Structure of Java program or understanding hello world program. So we have just seen the hello world program. Okay, so we'll write every word that we have seen. Along with me that you will also tell me what is that. It is a keyword or reserved word. Reserved word means its meaning is already reserved word. It is also called as or access specifier. So what is the use of this specifier? What is the use? When I say public, public means, yes, you are correct. Public means this whatever followed, public means this can be accessed throughout the application, not only program. In application you will have hundreds of programs. So this can be accessed throughout the application. Perfect. Then we have seen public and then class. What is this class? It is a keyword or reserved word, right? And what is the use of this? What it denotes? It is used to create, yes, class word came from, originated from classification or grouping or categorization. ठीक? And it is used to create a class, that is classification. So what is class? It is a container. It is a container which consists of similar or logically related data and methods. Methods are nothing but task. Methods are nothing but task. Perfect. Then we have seen hello world. What is this? It is a name given to class. So what it denotes? It denotes a category. It denotes a category or classification or a group. Check. Then after that we have seen again public static. So what was that again? If you see here, public is again same thing. Static. Let's try to understand static. So static is also keyword or reserved word. Static is also keyword or reserved word. So what it means? Yes, what it means? It means static. That is, cannot be changed. So static method means this is common, or this is common for all of the objects of the class. Static means this is particular common for all of the class. Then what we have? Void. What is void? What is void? Yes, Lalit, what is this void? It is a reserved word. Reserved word means it has a predefined meaning. Reserved word or keyword. It specifies does not return anything. Void means main method will not return anything. Then what is this? After that we have main. It is a name of the, it is the name of method. Its job is to execute all other methods. Then what about main method? Main method is the entry point. Main method is the entry point for Java application. So is it compulsory to have main method? Yes, it's compulsory to have at least one main method for a given Java application. Perfect. What else? It is executed by, JRE, and it will be the It will be the first method or task that will be executed, and this will be executed automatically. Automatically means when we call the actually this one execution command. Simple. Then what we have? We have, what is this? Or some people call it as args. So what is this? It is an input to the main method. In technical terms, it is an array of strings. Array of strings. Then what is args? Args is a name given to array. It is a container name given, right? Then what we have? This curly braces, task boundary, it is task boundary. What else we have? What is system? It is a predefined class. It is a predefined class. Okay. Then out we have. What is out? It is a reference variable present inside the system class. Present inside the system class. So to add more, it is a static variable. It is a static variable. You will understand this later on. For now, just I am adding the concept. And it is a data. It is a data. It is a data. It is a data or a reference variable. It is a type of. It is a data type of print stream class. Okay. Then what is println? It is a predefined present inside the print stream class. And what is the use of this method? It is used to output the content on screen. Perfect. So this is your basic Hello World program. This looks basic, but this is not basic. This is Hello World. So you will understand more things once you understand what is class, what is object, what is variable, what is method, then what is static. This will understand. This will take around maybe next 20 to 30 days to understand entire program, because all the components one by one we are going to learn. So whatever you see, it is nothing but a separate chapter itself. So class is a separate chapter, then access specifier is a separate chapter, static is again the next chapter, and methods. There are a lot many things we have to understand. What is array? What is group of array? What is this string? We have now logically I have tried to explain whatever I can, but this needs lot of time to understand. So initial level of understanding, this is more than sufficient, right? Even though you do not understand a lot of things, that's perfectly fine. So you have to understand what is the target, what is the task, what is the goal we are trying to achieve. So what we have done, we have tried to print something on the screen. This was the task. Now this is a one simple instruction I have. Now this instruction, where do I write? Inside the method. So what is that method name? What is the task name? Main. So I will have to write the task inside some container. So what is that? It's a class. So hello world is the container name or a class. So what do you mean by class? Class is nothing but a category. That related task we will write inside one container. So what is this hello world? Hello world is nothing but a name of the container, which denotes that related task will be put together. Related task will be put together, right? Then we have seen public and rest of the things, right? I think you just go through the content try to absorb, take it slowly. Sometime you'll feel that ये समझ नहीं आ रहा, लेकिन that's fine because you have to cover a lot of basics or background to understand entire program. It will not happen that day one itself you will understand everything. So this will need some practice and we have to cover a lot of stuff. ठीक है. Yes, online, any question?